Hi, welcome to another lesson. Now we're going to talk about time remapping, which is a very cool tool here on After Effects. And what this tool does is to manipulate the time of the animations. So for example, I here have a simple animation where these two circles go from point A to point B in 1 second. So it's important to know that the time remapping only works on pre-comps. So we're going to take these two shapes and we're going to layer, pre-compose, and let's call these circles. And now we have a pre-comp. And this pre-comp, of course, has the same animation. Alright, now when with this pre-comp selected, we're going to go to layer, go to time, and enable time remapping. Or right click on this and time and enable time remapping. Once you do that, you can see that we created two keyframes. So these two keyframes represent the time of the animation. Right now it's normal, but if I take this the final keyframe and drag it closer, you can see that the animation will be a lot faster. Which means that this time remapping is moving the end of the animation here to this keyframe. You can see how it works. So it takes like 3 frames. So the more separated it is, the longer it will take to get to that point. We could even create a simple pause here on the animation. For example, let's move a little, like on this part, and we will create a keyframe. You can see that the time remap works like a new effect. Create a new keyframe. Now copy this keyframe by clicking on Ctrl and C. Move a little and Ctrl and B to paste the keyframe. Now when we hit play, you can see that the animation stops for a second and starts again. So it's really an amazing tool. Of course, these keyframes can be changed into any kind of keyframes that we want. Can turn them into some easy ease, and you can see how the animation works differently. And you can also right click on it and click on time reverse keyframes, and what this does is to reverse everything. Now instead of going from left to the right, it will go from the right to the left. You can see how it inverts everything here on the animation. So that's a pretty cool effect also. Now I'm going to delete this pre-comp and I'm going to take a movie file that I have. I'm going to import it, and now I'm going to place it here on my composition. Let's hit play. Let's make this composition longer now. I don't know, 10 seconds maybe. Let's hit play. Alright, now let's add some time remapping to it. Okay, when you have a movie file, you don't need to pre-comp the file to be able to time remap. So just right click on it and go to time, enable time remapping, and here we have our two keyframes as we saw before. Now right now the video is just the same video as before, but if I move this keyframe to this point, you can see that the video will move really fast. It's like fast forwarding. I can create a new keyframe right here when he is high on the air, and copy this keyframe and paste it here. And now if we hit play, he will jump, stop, and go again. So it's a pretty cool effect, maybe with some music and some other effects going on here. It can look really nice. In fact, now that we have this video here, we can create another wonderful effect, which we can call the matrix effect. You know, on Matrix, the movie Matrix, you know, when things go really slow, like a very slow motion with the bullet dodge and everything, we can sort of recreate this effect here, create a sort of slow motion when he jumps in the air, and this can be cool. To create a slow motion is really simple. Again, with the time remapping, we have the first and the last keyframe. Now let's set to maybe this point when he is right here. This part is really good. Let's create a keyframe here, and now we are going to move a little, maybe to this point, and create another keyframe. Now, right now, nothing will happen because we didn't change anything. But if I move this keyframe to this part, almost to the end, maybe right here, what this does is that it's going to play normal up to this point, and when he gets to this keyframe, everything will go really slow, and when it finished, it goes back to the normal speed. So what we did is to move this keyframe, this point of the movie file, to this point so that it takes really long to move from this point on the movie to this point. So that's it for time remapping. As you can see, it's a really cool tool. We can do great things with it, depending on what we're after, of course. But it's really nice that you can manipulate the time of the animation of a video or something. It's really cool that you can manipulate the times on them as easy as you can see on this lesson. So let's go to another lesson to continue learning.